Hey crawlers, welcome back to another episode of the Minecraft circuit board. And today guys, we're going to be talking about pulse lengtheners and pulse limiters. Alright guys, so here we are. I'm going to give you a quick explanation of what a pulse limiter and what a pulse extender actually is. A pulse limiter reduces the duration of the input pulse. Very simple. And a pulse lengthener extends the duration of the input pulse. So, very simple. Now, you got to keep in mind, guys, when you're doing, pulse limiters and pulse extenders, about your input duration. The stone buttons have a 10 tick duration, which is 1 second, and the wooden buttons have a 15 tick time, and it's 1.5 seconds. So you got to keep those in mind. So here is the first one, guys. The very first standard pulse limiter. I call this standard because it's basically a monostable circuit. So it's very common, and you guys have already seen that if you guys have seen my monostable circuit designs over there. Then this probably looks familiar. Now, before I click any buttons, I should let you guys know I have two outputs here. One is an inverted torch output, and the other goes off of this powered wool block here. So what's going to happen here? I'm going to show you the first setting. The first setting, what's going to happen is this section is going to react on the downward edge of this block. So let's check it out. Notice that worked on the downward edge of that block, but this one did not activate at all because this pulse is actually so quick that the torch can't even pick it up. Now if I adjust it out one more time, what's going to happen is this now is going to work on the upward edge of this pulse, but this is still not going to work. You can see that there. Okay, so now if I set it to the third pulse, now this is where our standard monostable circuit comes in, because at the third pulse the torch finally picks up, and then it's going to shoot this block up and do that what do we call it, T flip-flop sort of mechanic. Notice that does that, and it doesn't matter regardless of your which button we're using on this particular design. So, and then on the fourth one, it's still going to work on the upward edge on this one, and on this one it's going to push up and pull back the block, so it's not actually going to do the other thing. Alright guys, so moving on to the next one, we have an alternate design here. This is a 3x3x1 design. Basically, so it functions the same as that one. You can adjust these settings exactly the same way. You set it to 3, and it's going to launch that. It's supposed to launch that thing. What happened? Oh wait, that's right. You have to invert it. You have to invert it in order to get that output here. Derp. Just derped. So yeah, invert it and then use the torch, because this is this stays on, so naturally it's not going to shoot it up. But same here. Click that one. On the first tick, it works on the downward edge. Second tick, and then up, it works on the upward edge. Same thing here. Nothing too fancy. Just another design. Did that first one work on the upward edge? That one worked on the upward edge. This one worked on the downward edge. Interesting. I never noticed that. That's a first. I don't know why that is, but that is very interesting. I guess it makes a difference on the design right there. Okay guys, now moving on. This is an example of button pulse limits. Now because a button or a pulse limiter is going to be limiting your pulse length depending on your input pulse length, we have to keep that in mind with how we want to limit it. If we're going to limit a stone button pulse, it's going to be 10 ticks or less. If we're going to limit a stone button pulse, or a wooden button pulse, it's going to be 15 ticks or less. Alright, so let's start with the stone button pulse. Stone button pulse is 10 ticks, so there's 4, 8, and right there is 10. Now, if you notice, we have this torch over here. This torch acts as a tick in itself. So this line right here has to match this line in order for this to work properly. So we have to raise this up by one more tick. So that's 11 ticks. 11 ticks to match this one. So now, when I hit this button, if you guys notice, these two things right here are matched up at the same amount of ticks. As it comes over here, this powers this top piece and it powers this one to the left. Okay, so if I hit this button, this stone button, these both should come up exactly at the same time. Now if I hit this button right here, one's going to come up first. Actually, you know what? I just realized this is still going to come up at the same time because this length pulse right here is... My mouse is glitching on me. I don't know what's going on. This section right here is actually the main length. So it's going to shorten to 10 ticks. So it's getting shortened to 10 ticks by using the wooden button. Okay, but if we were to let's say we wanted to extend this is not an extender. Let's say if we go past 11 ticks, what's going to happen? Let's go 12 ticks. Technically 11 ticks when you count this torch. And we click the stone button. You notice that the right one came on before the left one. Try it again. By 1 tick. If we extend it, it's going to make it even longer. Before the other one comes back up. See? You can see the time difference. Alright. So, in order to match the this one right here, the wooden one, you're going to need 16 ticks, which just so happen to be... Oh, I just realized that's right there. There. Much bigger difference. Anyway, so this is 16 ticks, and since this wooden button is 15 ticks, and if we count this one, we should need 16 ticks instead of 15 right here. So this right here will be like so. So this is our main output right here, guys. Okay, so let's go back over here, and let's say we want to shorten our stone or wooden button pulse to a stone button pulse. We're just going to reduce this down to 11 ticks, which that is not 11. That is 8, 9, 10, 11. There we go. So then we hit the button, and we're going to be good to go. That just shortened it to 10 ticks. So that's kind of how that works. That way you guys kind of understand how the button pulse limit works. Now naturally in a lot of builds you may have pulses that end up maybe being longer than that, but you only want it to pulse a certain length. This is the kind of stuff you want to use. Like if you want to use a lever to kind of act as a button, you flip the lever, power it on, and it powers on for you know, only a limited amount of time. So kind of the idea. Here, maybe I can show you guys that. Go like that, and then it comes right back on. We turn it off, nothing happens. Well, that one turns off, but that's a different part of the circuit. That's just showing this power length. Alright. Now the next one, guys, these are pulsed lengtheners. Now you're going to need to understand that in order to understand this. Okay? In pulsed lengtheners, you want to lengthen your input pulse, and this one is a stone button, so 10 ticks. So what do we have here? We have 4, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we have 11 ticks down here, and then we have this one up here. So how this works, guys, is when I press this button, the power is going to go up here and through here at the same time. So the first thing we do is we want the faster power to come through, and we want to power the unit. Okay, and then that's my wife. She's cutting and then having like crazy hiccups over there. So the power's coming up through here with a 1 tick delay, and then we want another button pulse to come in at a 11 or a 10 tick delay. So we got 1 here, 11 here, this way. That's not distracting at all. So we have that pulse, and this. And so we have the second pulse coming in. Let me just show you. Oh my God. Are you okay? They sound angry.
I'm sorry.
Oh my God. Okay, you get the point. And here's the button pulse, or the wooden button one. On the wooden button one, it's the same thing. You were 15. It's a 15 button pulse. Yeah, you're getting loud. It's like a 15 button pulse, so you go up, around, and down with the one pulse up here, so you want 16 down here to match the pulse. So basically, we're doubling the pulses, guys. This is what's happening here. We click this, and we're making a 10 button pulse turn into a 20 button pulse. This one, 15 button pulse turning into a 30 button pulse. Bam. Love it. Now, this one is a do not use, guys. In the same respect, you don't want to use this one either. Hold on. No, you don't want to use that one to begin with. Anyways, you don't want to you don't want to go up and around and down, guys. Just standard. For some reason, I don't know why, Minecraft is weird, but if we go, let's say button pulse is 10, so you would think this is going straight to the unit, so there's no one tick delay up here. So let's go 10, 4, 8, 9, 10. This should work, but it turns off and turns right back on again. Yep, even though it should be. So in order for this to actually work, we have to lose a pulse. So instead of being on for 20 ticks, it's only on for 19 ticks. Not efficient. Not efficient. Don't use that. I would not recommend it. Here is another one, but if you guys having to deal with only one high areas, this is a great one. It's basically the same design as those over there. It's basically just on a single plane. You guys can see this right here is a, actually that right there should be 8, 10, 11. That should work. Yep, there you go. You want that set to 11, that one set to 1, and that's going to give you your 20 tick pulse. And if you use a button, you will extend this out by one more, and you will put another repeater set to 4, and then set this one to 4 as well. So you have the 16 pulses, just like that one over there. Alright, last but not least, guys, this is a design that I made. I'm sure someone's already made it by now. I didn't see it, but yeah, basically using a lock repeater, I was able to create a pulse lengthener using the design where when you use the pulse stays on long enough. Basically, this stays on by 3 ticks longer than this one, and it'll lock it and it's on position until it is reset. So if we hit that, you guys can see it's locked on. Power comes back around, resets it, turns it back off. And then it's an extendable design, so you just extend it outward however long you want to do it. So there's no, what I like about this design right here, guys, is that there's no wasted space. Like with these, you have to keep extending them. So you're technically losing 1, 2 repeaters within every 3 repeaters you want to use. So it kind of makes it a little bit inefficient, but this is constantly done. Also, guys, in the same respect, you can use an RS NOR latch and just set the reset after you have your repeaters. So basically, you power your, here, let me go over here and I'll show you guys really quick. My RS NOR latches right over here. Okay, so if you guys haven't seen my RS NOR latches, basically this is what they are. They're a memory cell. You click one, and then you can't click it over and over again to change the state. You click the other side, it changes the state, but you can't keep doing it. So basically what you would do is you would have your power trigger this on to its on state, run out your repeaters constantly however you want, and then come back and reset it at the right length that you want. So that's basically the same idea and same principle behind the lock repeater one. It's just using the lock repeater design. However, this is slightly more compact than you would be able to make an RS NOR latch design. Just ever so slightly. I'll tell you what, though, I don't like the locking repeaters because it's very difficult to compact them, guys. Basically, with lock repeaters, you're limited. You're very limited to the amount of space, or basically the minimum amount you can have is a 3x3 area. And the reason that is because in order for a lock repeater to work, you have to have a power, a repeater, and into a lock repeater. And then on this side, you have to have power, lock repeater, and then your output. And so that's the 3x3 area that you'll never be able to get out of with a pulse or with a lock repeater. That's the only thing I don't like it. However, I do think this is the most efficient design, and this will bring out exactly what you need, and it's only one high. I do find that to be very efficient. Alright guys, that's it for today. If you guys like this video, please like it, thumbs up, all that good stuff. I really appreciate it. It really helps out my channel and all that. So again guys, thank you very much. As always, keep crawling and peace out.
Peace out.
Peace out. God damn it. I thought we were going to hiccup. Alright guys, so here it is, the SA equals O circuit. Speaking of which, even though he had a video up on the circuit, it was never given a name or anything. So